In this video, I am going to find the domain of this given function y is equal to f of x is equal to x over x minus 1. Whenever you are dealing with a function that involves division, there is only one thing you have to keep in mind, which is that you cannot divide by 0. Remember, when you are doing your ordinary division, if you have two numbers a and b, if you are dividing a by b, one condition is that b cannot be 0, because division by 0 is undefined. So, by the way, keep in mind that a could be 0, the numerator could be 0, just the denominator cannot be 0. So, b cannot be 0. So, if you look at this given function, we see the following. It involves division. Division of x. So, division of x by something x minus 1, right? Now, our condition is that we cannot divide by 0. So, this function f of x is equal to, or y is equal to f of x is equal to x over x minus 1. We cannot divide by 0. So, we look at the denominator, which is x minus 1, and we ask ourselves the question, what value of x will make the denominator 0? Obviously, this is very easy. If you plug in x equal to 1, it's going to be 1 minus 1, which is 0. So, you do not want x is equal to 1. If you plug in x is equal to 1 in this function, you'll be dividing by 0, because it's going to be 1. So, x over x minus 1, x is 1 like this, x minus 1 is 1 minus 1, which is going to be 1 over 0, which is undefined, right? So, that's what it is. So, you have to absolutely make sure that when you are dealing with functions that involves division, which we, by the way, given general name called rational functions. If you are dealing with a rational function, you have to make sure that you do not divide by 0. That's the most important thing. So, in this case, domain of this function is going to be everything on the number line except for 1. 0, 1, let's say this is my 1, and I am going to exclude this thing. So, my domain is going to be everything to the right of 1 and everything to the left of 1. So, we do not want only one value from the number line, which is 1. So, if I want to put it in the interval notation, it's going to be negative infinity to 1, close parenthesis, then union 1 to positive infinity. This is how you would represent it. Okay? So, this is what it means to finding the domain of a rational function. Now, I'm going to give you a side example on this one involving something slightly different. So, here it is. Let's say we have another function y is equal to f of x is equal to 3x over 5x plus 7. Now, this one again conceptually exactly the same function as this one in terms of finding domain. Just we look at the denominator and see what value of x will make the denominator 0. That's when we are going to divide by 0, but that cannot happen. So, if you are not so clear on how to find this value, just do this. Whatever the denominator is, set it equal to 0. Okay? To find out what value of x will make it 0. You don't know what value of x will make the denominator 0. So, you just set it equal to 0 and see what value of x will make it 0. And you just solve for x. You subtract 7, that gives you 5x on the left hand side. This 7 negative and positive 7 cancel out on the right hand side, negative 7. Now you divide by 5 both sides. That gives you x is equal to negative 7 over 5. So, you just found out that in this function, if you plug in x is equal to negative 7 over 5, the denominator will evaluate to 0. That means you will be dividing by 0. So, you want all the values on the number line except for this guy. You don't want this guy. So, your domain on the number line is going to be, let's say, this is my negative 7 over 5. Okay. And I want everything on this number line except for this. Now, you can put it in the interval notation like this. It's going to be negative infinity to negative 7 divided by 5, close parenthesis, union negative 7 over 5 to positive infinity. Now, remember, I put a closing parenthesis here. I don't put square bracket or anything. That says that I do not include this point. And also, I have an opening parenthesis here that says that I do not include this boundary point. So, that means this point is not included. Okay, remember, in general, if you want to include a point, you put square bracket, either closing square bracket or opening square bracket. That says that the point is included. Let me give you an example quickly here. If I put 5 comma 7 square bracket, what does it say? I'm going from 5 to 7. I do not include the point 5, but I include the point 7. So let's say, so this is my 5 and this is my 7. So I do include the point 7, but I do not include the point 5. So I just highlight this and then highlight everything in between. So okay, so 5 is not included and I did not shade this 5. I hope that this discussion was helpful. Thank you very much.